in the week. Now, for one of the major stories that we're looking at today, it was an issue many Nigerians talked about when it hit the social media. An online publication listing President Jonathan as one of the 9 richest African leaders. Now, with a net worth of about $100 million. That is way over 15 billion Nigerian naira. The president didn't take that line down and said it will effect a legal action against the company. But now that publication appeared to have been pulled down by the publisher. Let's for a moment take a look at what the publication listed and how they came about it. They said that from number 9, Robert Mugabe of Zimbabwe, about $10 million. Idris Deby of Chad, about $15 million. And they put President Goodluck Jonathan, number 6, at net worth of about $100 million, side by side with King Mzwati of Swaziland, of the same net worth. And on the 5th is Paul Biya of Cameroon. Uhuru Kenyatta stands at 4th. 3rd is Theodore Obiang Mbazogo of Equatorial Guinea. Muhammad of Morocco, and Jose Eduardo dos Santos of Angola is listed as the richest African leader of the net worth of $20 billion. Well, the president is didn't find this funny and is not taking a line and have threatened a legal action against the publisher. Well, I have joining me via Skype the president's advisor on media and publicity, Dr. Reuben Abati, joins us from Abuja. Thank you, Dr. Abati, for joining us at this time. Tell us, how does the presidency take or receive this particular listing on this particular platform when it came out? A lot of issues have come up, a lot of publications about the president, but this is one that the president took up, and it took up seriously. Why?
Well, immediately the president saw the publication, he was outraged, he was angry, and justifiably so. Because his position at all times has always been that journalists have the right to report whatever situation, but they also have a responsibility to report the truth. And he was embarrassed by the fact that, a foreign internet channel will tell a blatant lie, and Nigerian channels will pick it up and begin to repeat the lie. And immediately directed that a statement should go out to say that this is a complete fabrication, and that we were surprised, absolute consternation on the part of the president that this kind of thing would be put out by anybody.
All right. President Jonathan was listed as the 6th richest with the net worth of about $100 million. If you say that this is a lie, what then is the true state of President Jonathan's wealth?
Well, the statement was very clear in this regard, that since his election as a deputy governor, vice president, acting president, he has dutifully complied with the regulation that he should declare his assets every year and at all occasions. And he has always complied with this. And if anyone, wants to find out, the truth of the matter is that the president does not have $100 million, either in terms of assets or in terms of liquid cash. And if you look at what the particular internet site and those copycat media houses tried to do, they were trying to give the impression that the president is corrupt. Indeed, the site even pointed out that these leaders that they have listed steal their people's wealth. And that is absolutely untrue. President Jonathan has not stolen anybody's wealth. He's a very honest man. He's a very decent man. And, those who know him very well will tell you that he's not in office to amass wealth. He's in office because he knows that he has a historical responsibility and that, he has a duty to move this country forward, to serve Nigerians to the best of his ability, and to leave a legacy that future generations and present generations can be very proud of.
For a while now, since 1999, President Jonathan has come into public office, but we've not really seen him come public about his asset. Has he declared his asset now?
He has always declared his assets, and that is the point that I made. But the law does not require any public official to do a public declaration. The appropriate institution that is in charge of declaration of assets is the Code of Conduct Bureau. And I think we have dealt with this issue in the past, when some Nigerians said they wanted to know, what the details are, but the only appropriate body that they can approach to know the details is the Code of Conduct Bureau. It's not for the president to go against the law and do a public declaration.
To avoid this kind of misinterpretation and this kind of lies that, like you put it, don't you think that it's perhaps right? Because I know the president has been asked at some forum about his asset and perhaps him declaring it publicly. Don't you think he probably should use this opportunity to declare it publicly?
Well, we cannot reprobate and approbate on matters of the law or issues of the rule of law. If you have a leader who says he respects the rule of law, he follows the letter and the spirit of the law. You cannot say at the same time that, the same leader should circumvent the law. If the law says that this is what is required, then, and the president has done that, whoever is looking for information, the appropriate place to go to, as I said earlier, is the Code of Conduct Bureau. It is not for the president to rewrite the laws of the land.
We're talking about the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who has been in public office since 1999. Would you consider the president rich or wealthy?
I don't know. That's not part of my job. I've told you earlier that this president is not thinking in terms of wealth. He's not thinking in terms of riches. He's thinking in terms of what he can do for the Nigerian people. And I guess that people must understand that when a man rises to a position like this, in a great country like this, Nigeria, the priority for such a person is certainly not wealth. The priority for a man like President Jonathan is service. And that is what he has remained committed to. Indeed, after the website brought down the story, I went to him and he was still, saying that, look, he doesn't have that kind of money. And what does he have? He gave me, information which shows that, in fact, truly, for him, it's not about money. It's not about riches. And Nigerians must understand that. They must see the way he's dedicated to the assignment that he has been given, that what defines his presidency is not personal gain. What defines his presidency and him as a person is service, commitment to Nigerians, commitment to the oath that he has taken. But people who bring up these issues all the time, I think in the fullness of time and if they make the effort, they will see the truth and they will come to realize that they have in President Jonathan a man of high dignity and a man whose focus is service.
Definitely, when you said that he doesn't have that kind of amount, but you just told us that he gave you some information. How rich is President Jonathan? Can you give us an idea of how rich he is?
I don't know how rich he is, but I certainly know that he doesn't have $100 million. He does not have it in assets. He does not have it in liquid cash. And I've been saying that, look, when the site brought down the story immediately, he said something very clear. That site itself admitted that it was into mischief. That site knew that they did not have a story like that, and that they were just trying to embarrass the person and office of the president of Nigeria. Okay? And what they did after putting down the story was to say, oh, they took this story from another website, celebrityworth.com. But that's no defense in law. Every publication, every other publication is libelous per se. And what they did is something close to a retraction, but it is not really a retraction because they have to state so clearly and also apologize.
All right. So have they apologized to the presidency now?
Well, we are yet to receive an apology, but we have seen that they have pulled down the story. And we have also seen that the copycat, the imitators who do not do their homework, who just take any story from anywhere and abandon the basic tenets of professional journalism, I've also tried to stay away from the story. So, and I think it's unfortunate.
Now that they pulled down that particular story, I've checked the website just a few minutes before I came on air. and I see that such is not there. Are you still going ahead with the legal action that you threatened in the statement that you released earlier in the week?
Well, I can tell you categorically that before the statement that was issued went out, President Jonathan briefed his lawyers. And I was called to a meeting with the lawyers that were briefed. So it's for the lawyers, to take it from there.
All right, interesting. Let's take it a bit further from that point. From what we have seen so far, a lot have been achieved, a lot has been seen, and a lot of people are giving kudos to the nation on the fight against Ebola, how far we've been able to come and overcome. We don't have any case now. We just heard that America has the second case of Ebola on their soil. The healthcare worker in America has a case of Ebola. But in some other issues, like the Unity schools, they are still shut and schools are reopening. What is happening with the Unity schools? When are they reopening?
Well, various schools in Nigeria are reopening at different times, and there is no doubt that the Unity schools will resume in due course. What the government has made very clear is that Nigeria has been able to overcome the threat of Ebola, but even in spite of that, government is not resting on its laurels. Government remains vigilant for as long as we still have cases of Ebola in some of the West African countries, some of the neighboring countries. The president also made it clear that, look, Nigeria was able to overcome the Ebola threat because of unity, collective unity, unity of purpose at various levels. State governments working hand in hand with local governments, state governments working hand in hand with the federal government. And he would like to see the kind of unity that was demonstrated in the case of Ebola, also demonstrated in every aspect of our lives. Even the states that protested initially, that did not agree with the date of resumption, all of them are beginning to come to resume, to come back to school. So the Ebola threat, we have also been commended by the World Health Organization and by other international bodies. It just shows that this is a country that can achieve whatever it puts its mind to, provided that people are ready to work together, be completely non-partisan, and focus on national progress.
Dr. Abati, tell me, are you talking to the teachers because they say they're on strike? Are you talking to them? What's their hope? Is there any light at the end of the tunnel for Unity schools?
Well, you can be sure that if the teachers are on strike, the issues will be addressed. One of the major areas in which this administration has excelled has been in its ability to resolve labor disputes and to give hope to everybody and to move every section of society forward.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Reuben Abati, the President's Advisor on Media and Publicity, clearing the air about the publication listing President Jonathan as one of the richest African leaders. Now, we'll take a moment on the program, and when we return, there is tension within the political atmosphere, inter-party conflicts on choice of candidates ahead of the 2015 election. That's our next discussion. Join us again.